Welcome back to another Jay's Collectible video, and I thought we'd take a moment for, uh, well, a few moments, and let's talk about if I'm coming back when it comes to the vintage collection line. So as you can see, I have a bunch of vintage collection items here. I think it's mainly Clone Wars. We got some Mandalorians from the Clone Wars. We got Darth Maul, and we have one Bad Batch character. I believe it's Hauser from a recent wave from last year. And we got two deluxes on the side. We got the Book of Boba Fett Deluxe, and we got the Dark Trooper Deluxe. And behind me, I'm not sure how much in the shop, but you do have some vintage collection on the wall, which is all my Mandalorian stuff. Now, I did one video a few weeks ago where I showed off my Infinity Saga collection, and you can see, I believe, most of my vintage collection items in the background. And if you can tell, there's some missing. I decided to cut back on the vintage collection. Let's discuss why. So, obviously, just it's because there's a lot coming out, and I do collect multiple lines. Unfortunately, that's the price when you're a collector. Like, I collect Legos, I collect Marvel Legends, and so I just thought, I think I gotta cut back when it comes to the vintage collection. When it came to the Marvel Legends line, I used to get all the figures when it came to MCU waves. Like, I'll get the movie figures, I'll get the comic book characters from that wave. And then after a while, I'm like, well, I have no attachment to the comic book characters, so therefore I'm like, I'm just gonna stop collecting comic book characters, and I'll just get the movie characters and any Build-A-Figure that's from the MCU, if that made sense. And so I kind of applied that situation to the vintage collection because we have so many different characters coming out from like Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, Clone Wars, The Mandalorian, Jedi Fallen Order, or Survivor. A bunch of different medias, and some medias I don't like have really a connection to, like Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order. Like, I would just be getting those characters just to add into the collection and to fill in that VC number. And we'll talk about the numbers here in a second and why it was kind of hard for me to stop and like collecting them in the first place. But just overall, they're, like I said, they're just characters that I just had no connection to, unlike others. So what characters do I have some connection to is the Mandalorian, of course. I like that line because we have all the different vehicles. We got the N1 Starfighter, we got the Razor Crest, and we just got a bunch of Mandalorian characters, as you can see on the wall behind me if it's in shot. Another one would be Clone Wars. I'm a huge Clone Wars fan. I really like Season 7, and I blame that Season 4 making me collect different Clone Wars stuff like Legos and a vintage collection now. It's fine though, but yeah. Another one is Return of the Jedi. Now, Return of the Jedi, I'm basically just getting on them on card unless it's Endor, because I do want to make an Endor diorama one day. But I don't know why, but just Return of the Jedi is just one of those card backs that I really like. I don't know if it's just because of the font or all the different characters from that movie just look cool on the card backs, but like that's the only original trilogy card backs I'll be collecting. Plus, Return of the Jedi is my favorite original trilogy movie. So yeah, so that's a little bit on what different medias I'll be collecting still from the vintage collection. Let's talk about how hard it was kind of for me to make a decision whether I want to stop collecting them or not, or some of them at least. So I went in really trying to figure out how, like, if, do I really want to stop collecting some of the vintage collection? And the real thing that kind of made me think a lot is because of the VC numbers. So if I pick this one up right here, it may not be in shot, but you do have VC numbers on the back of them right there. And so I don't know what his VC number. My eye's still healing, but they do have numbers on them. So knowing that they have numbers, it would be kind of, I don't know, just difficult, I feel like, for me sometimes to be like knowing that I have VC 179, VC 180, and then VC 183, not having the ones in between. But I don't know if you say I got over that, but like I have made the ultimate decision to just, like I said, just collect these certain few lines, and also that way I can expand my collection to other different collections that I have already started collecting. And there is a project that my dad and I have started. It may come out this Saturday, it may come out the next Saturday. Just know, keep an eye out for Saturday videos and for the next 2 weeks for a video that is a project my dad and I have wanted to do for a while. But back to this topic of the vintage collection, I think that. Actually, I think that's all I had to say about the vintage collection. So yeah, I am cutting back, and I'm sure I'm not the first one. I remember seeing some I think comments in different YouTube channels, like just basically people saying how expensive it's gotten, and it has. I went from I think paying $12.99 to now $16.99. So in the span of 4 years, the prices have gone up, and they have just released a bunch of stuff. And like I said, just some stuff I'm just not connected to, and therefore I feel like maybe that money can go to something that I do like and everything. And just like I said, just a bunch of different stuff, vehicles and whatnot, and the Razor Crest and the Ghost. Yeah. So moving forward, like I said, I'm just gonna be collecting Clone Wars. I'm gonna call it the Mandoverse. So I'm gonna do Book of Boba Fett, like the Cad Bane, Cobb Vanth, I think that's pronounced his name, and then the Ahsoka, because that is all within the same kind of timeline. Plus, I did back the Ghost, and I'm definitely not gonna open those Rebels characters that are on those mural card backs. Speaking of that, I also gotta get the final two still, but I want to like populate that Ghost with the Ahsoka character since the Ghost was in Ahsoka. So yeah, that's just kind of my I guess strategies going forward when it comes to the Vintage Collection. I'll still be doing any vehicles like from the Mandalorian. I'll still do deluxes like from Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, or Ahsoka, because again we have Book of Boba Fett and the Mandalorian somewhere. I'm not sure who's on which side, but yeah. And the Return of the Jedi is just going to be Endor characters, unless there's some cool characters, maybe from Jabba's Palace or something. So, yeah. Let me know in the comments below if you've had to make this decision in the last few years on cutting back, quitting the line altogether, or just like you're still going all in. You're like, nope, they got me till the end. So, with that, I'd like to hear y'all's thoughts in the comments below on your all situation, if that's cool. So, with that, I'll catch you all on the next one. Take care.